are you?
Mike and I,
Nice to meet you,
See
Mike.
you. Sit down there.
Okay, so we have a few new people on here, so we have a couple of ground rules to go over before we get going. When you ask a question, please give your name and affiliation so we know who you are. We have two wireless mic holders, Jared and JJ. So if you could wait for the mic to come to ask that question. Again, there's no shooting of video of any kind. The people at Hammond Communications will help out with any video needs you have. There's also no flash photography. So with that, we'll ask Coach to make an opening statement, and then we'll take some questions.
Well, first of all, we're tremendously excited to be back in the Sweet 16 again. It was a great experience for our team last year, a learning experience and a humbling experience, and a motivating experience. And I think that this entire year has been built on trying to get back to this place again. And I think along the way, I'm not sure I expected our team to be this competitive this year. I knew we would be good. I wasn't sure how good we would be. But some pieces have fallen into place. Our leadership has been terrific, needless to say, and our young players have really responded after their initial years last year. So I'm really pleased with where our team and our program is at, really proud and excited to be in Connecticut and play in the Sweet 16.
Before we start the Q&A, we always introduce the SID at some point, so Sean Cartel is here from Texas to help whatever you need there. So if we have some questions, we'll get the mic to you. Marvin, go ahead.
Marvin Chambers, Houston Sun and Women Hoop World. Coach, after losing to Baylor and coming back and winning convincingly against Missouri and Alabama State, what did you find out the DNA of your team?
It's a great question because the losses have really told me more about our young women and our team and our staff than the wins have. Because not just that loss in the Big 12 tournament, but the losses at the end of the year, at the end of conference season in Waco, was a real telling testament to our team's character because those were disappointing losses. And I really thought the loss in Waco was the more telling of the two because I didn't know if our team wanted to try to make a run in the tournament and play them again and challenge themselves at the level that we need to be challenged at. And I told our team that before we got ready to go into the Big 12 tournament. I said, we'll see. We'll see if we want to go through the rigors of the tournament again and try to get to the championship. And they did that. So the way they reacted after the loss in the tournament didn't really surprise me because they've responded really well to, I guess, what people would perceive as failures, definitely challenges. And when you get to the level that you're trying to play for a championship, then you do get your weaknesses exposed. And we were able, in the break between the Big 12 tournament and the NCAAs, I really thought we were able to go to work on some things that we really weren't doing very well.
Get a microphone to Pat here, please.
Pat Eatonrod from the Associated Press. Karen, kind of along the same lines, your program has improved each and every year since you've been here. How do you take what happened last year in the Sweet 16 and use that, if you do at all, for motivation this year to get even further this year?
Well, as I said, I think it was a humbling experience. It was an experience in general just because that particular group of women had not ever been in that situation before. We had not been to the Sweet 16. We had not advanced a couple of rounds. So it was all a learning experience, just going west and then turning around and a day or so later going east. Everything was learning. And I would say that the one thing that we gathered from that was the motivation all year long to try to host because we did have to go west and then go east. So I think that there was a better understanding and a better education for our players about the tournament and what all goes into being successful in the tournament. And the loss, it was definitely humbling, but it was also, this is what this looks like. And if we're trying to get to that level, these are some things that we have to do a lot better than what we were doing. And one of those was shooting the basketball. So we addressed that, I thought, a lot in the summer. and we came back this year with a better mindset as far as shooting was concerned.
Coach, Sweet 16 is very big. Each time you go up a ladder, you know, kids' confidence waver back and forth because they're emotional beings. What have you done differently to keep everybody's emotion in check?
Well, I think that is important to be able to handle the highs and the lows and move on to the next thing, which this team has been much more mature about. And I think maturity is the best word I can use for it. You know, this particular group of seniors started as freshmen kind of getting their heads beat in a little bit. And each year they've learned a little bit more about what it takes to compete at the highest level. And now we have 4 seniors that absolutely know the day-to-day work that it takes, and they know the pitfalls. So I think they've really helped our young kids in understanding what's next. And the one thing I can say about this team, even though we've had setbacks, they've never been afraid to come back the next day and go to work. Their preparation every day on a daily basis from day one has been very consistent, and I think that's what's enabled us to get through some of the highs and the lows. I mean, we've had some great highs, really good.
Somebody's got the mic in the back. Yeah, go ahead. In the back. Go ahead.
Greg Wade, Longhorn IMG Radio Network. Karen, it's pretty normal for anyone that comes to a regional where UConn's on the other side of the thing to say, UConn's over there, blah blah blah, and I know there was a little bit of that when the on Selection Monday when the bracket came out. How has everybody been in terms of dialing in on UCLA? And as a second question, how different or similar is UCLA to the team you played at Pauley Pavilion last year?
Well, I definitely think there was a little buzz when the seedings came out, and I think if anything, it wasn't so much about the initial reaction wasn't so much about playing Connecticut or thinking down the road that you would someday. I think it was more that we were a little surprised about our seed because we thought we had a pretty good body of work, and I think we were initially right off the bat surprised. But then the lock-in was really quick. It was really quick, not even about UCLA, not even looking ahead to who would be in the regional or anything like that. We were very locked into playing Alabama State. And then the next one was Missouri. And that's the way this team has been. They've taken one day at a time the entire year. They've never looked ahead and thought, oh, what's going to happen, if we have to do this and this. This is just not the way this team is built. And again, it's a lot of it is the leadership from our coaching staff, but it's also the leadership from our older players. UCLA is really good. So the second step of that, they are a much better basketball team. And I would say it's very comparable to the way we've grown also. They're more mature. They understand the daily routine. They know what it takes. They had a run to the WNIT championship, so they really know how to play in postseason play. And I just think they're not necessarily different as far as personnel, but they're much different as far as their maturity and understanding of this level.
Doug?
Hey, Coach. Doug Feinberg, the AP. Two-part question. Just something you just said about the surprise of the seed. You thought you guys should have been seeded higher than you were based on that?
I think we knew we would be a 2 seed. I think we thought we would land in a different region probably. So, and I think all of our fans did also. I think that was a bit of an initial surprise. But again, once we figured it out, you just go to work. First things first.
The other part was just if you could expand a little bit on UCLA, what you've seen on them in the film the last week or so, and what their strengths are and what challenges they're going to present for you guys.
Well, they present a lot of challenges, and I'll start with their guard play. It's absolutely terrific. Canada and Fields and company are really, really good. They can score the basketball in a lot of different ways. They challenge you because they go downhill so much. So they're constantly challenging your ability to guard the basketball. Second, it really sort of is a lead-in after that, which is that their transition game is so terrific, and that's because their rebounding is good. So you connect all of those dots, and they just present themselves very actively. They're terrific on the boards, and again, they get out in transition, they turn you over, and everything leads into what they do best, which is transition. So it's a challenge to stay locked in mentally, to get back every possession and make sure that you're taking care of transition, taking care of the basketball. Their guards are very active, and they create a lot of deflections, and it creates opportunities for them to do what they do best.
Pat?
Karen, last year in Albany, you faced a very hostile crowd in the Sweet 16. Obviously, UConn travels well. This year, you're in the other game. Is it less pressure on the team to be in a game where, the crowd is not against you? It's a neutral crowd at worst.
Well, I think when you get to this point, you're just trying to win another game. You're trying to advance. And one of the goals that our team set forward, it's sort of been the seniors that have understood the process of becoming a good program and a good basketball team. And one of those is to take steps every year. So I think what our team is extremely locked into is that we fell short in this round last year. And for us to feel like we've improved, and it would be hard to say that we haven't improved. But to them, improvement means taking another step. And the other step is to get past this round. So I think that's the only thing they're really focused on.
You have anything else, Coach? Okay. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining us today, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank
Good
y'all.
luck. The Texas locker room remains open, and the student athletes will be here shortly. Oh, the train, yeah. What's that? Oh, that's all right. I mean, they don't start till. No, they're gone. Yeah. Yeah, we still got a few minutes. I mean, that's supposed to be at 2:25. The moderator? Supposed to entertain the crowd here? Okay, with the Texas student athletes entering the interview area. Happy to welcome to Connecticut, Selena Rodrigo, Ariel Atkins, and Amani Boyette. Plenty of water. There you go. That's all right. Okay, we have our two wireless mic holders, so we'll take questions right to the student athletes. If you could direct your attention to a particular one as best you can, that would be great.
Pat Eaton-Robb from the Associated Press. Ariel and Amani, can you just talk about what the difference is this year, Sweet 16 versus last year, in this team, and what is it? Has it been your goal to get that extra step this year?
I think the difference between this year's team and last year's team is one, experience. We know what it feels like to be on the stage, which is very helpful. So we've been able to bring the younger kids along without them having to feel like pressure and understanding what this means. Also, I think we have a lot more firepower this year. Everyone's kind of settled into their role. They know what they need to do. They know how that they can score from any position, and we're very balanced. They have a lot of depth.
Ariel, you go.
I feel like we're mentally more mature. I feel like we understand each other better, and we're just ready to go out there and do what we need to do.
Marvin Chambers, Houston Sun, and Women Hoops World. Amani, first and foremost, congratulations on the shot block title. Now, this week is very big. What do you think, personally, for you have to do to keep UCLA off the boards to be successful?
I think Monique Billings, she's a great rebounder. They're a great rebounding team on the offensive end as a unit. That's what I kind of take my pride in, is rebounding and playing great defense. So I just have to make sure that if I can't, I'm sure Monique's going to get her rebounds, but I can make them as hard as possible and try to make sure that I'm boxing out and doing little things. And we're just rebounding as a team, because it's not going to be one person to beat them on the boards tomorrow. They're a great rebounding team. We have to make sure that everyone's boxing out and we're all in there fighting for it.
In the back.
Craig Way with Longhorn IMG Radio Network. For both Selena and Amani, since you're both seniors, at what point down the road has it come to the point where you've kind of looked on the list and said there's only X number of practices left, X number of games left, X number of news conferences left, stuff like that? Are you trying to soak up the moment a little bit more?
Yeah, I think we definitely want to stay in the moment. It is coming down to an end, but I think for us, the main thing is just, like I said, staying in the moment, not looking ahead, and just trying to prepare our best and hopefully keep playing as long as we can.
I think we've done a great job as a team this year of just staying in the moment and being where we need to be and focused on what we need to focus on. So in terms of how many practices I have left or these events, I don't know, because I'm focused on today and trying to be as present and available for my team as possible.
Anybody else? Pat?
Selena, can you talk about the trajectory of this program? You guys have improved every year since Karen's been here. What has led to that, and how do you see the trajectory of this program going forward?
I think it's just our resilience as a team. Every year after the season, we evaluate our season, and I think we just kind of use it as motivation for the next season. And so we work that much harder every summer and every preseason. And I think just the work that we put in is showing right now. And I'm really proud of our whole team and how far we've come so far.
Marvin?
April, the last couple of games you've been playing lights out. Is there a time or period in the game that a mental clock goes off and you say, I'm just going to have to step it up for my teammates?
I think my teammates do a good job of us talking to each other and basically telling each other when we have an opportunity to do something. I think certain games we have different players that show up every night. I don't think it's the same person with our team every night. So I think we do a good job of communicating to each other of when the opportunity is there.
Herbert Delancey, Black Sports Magazine. This is for the seniors, because Imani and Selena. How great is it to know, Texas is obviously known for football. How great is it to know that Texas is also known for putting out a great band of basketball as well?
For our transcriber in Spokane, Washington, if Selena could take that one first.
I think it's definitely good just to know that, especially our senior class, where we've come from our freshman year to where we are now, it's been a great accomplishment. And even in this year alone, we've accomplished so many of our goals, and we're still not done. So I think just knowing how far we've come from has been a great benefit, and something that we're very proud of.
While Texas is obviously a football school, I came to Texas because of the tradition, because of Jody Conrad, because of Big G, all the wonderful people that came through here. So I was aware of what Texas basketball meant in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, and I wanted to be a part of bringing it back. So it's awesome to know that we're setting the stage for Texas to be here for a while.
Monty, can you refresh your memory what the relationship you have with is it a couple of the UCLA players? How well you know them, going back to high school with them and things of that nature?
I went to high school with Jordan Canada. We played together for 2 years. Casey Swain, I played travel ball with her. I've known her since like 7th grade. Carrie Corver, played against her in travel ball. Pretty much everybody. LaJanae, played against her in high school. The whole team, for the most part, all grew up around LA for the most part. So we've all played each other at some point. And it's going to be fun because, you play, you grow up together, and you get to play against each other. So it's going to be a really fun competition.
Pat, if we could get Pat a microphone.
Imani, last year you were in UConn's regional and had to play them in the Sweet 16. How different is it coming back east this year and having a neutral court, at least for the first game, and how much easier is it this year coming east, having had that experience last year?
I think last year we had to fly to both sides of the coast because we didn't really take care of our work during the regular season. So I think this year we stayed consistent all league and tried to put ourselves in a better position to succeed, and we did that by being able to play at home. So our legs are a lot fresher from flying this far. This was our first trip as opposed to other people who had to take 2 and 3 trips to get here. And I think we just were able to focus more, kind of relax, take care of schoolwork before we came out here so we could focus on basketball. So it definitely helped that we were able to get a high seed.
Marvin?
Selena and Imani, both of you ladies are seniors. this is a big stage for some of the underclassmen. What are some of the things that you guys spoke to the underclassmen to keep them focused?
Selena, could you take that one first, please?
Yeah, I think just letting them know that, I mean, we're still playing our same kind of basketball. It's just in a different location, and just knowing that it's still basketball. I mean, there's nothing different, and just to stay poised and stay calm, I think is the main thing. And like I said previously, just staying in the moment and just playing together and just being there for each other, I think is one of the main things we need to focus on. Not getting too fluttered or looking at games ahead, just taking care of business and staying in the moment is something that we're going to focus on.
I think this year it's easier for the freshmen to kind of fall in line because, like, we asked a lot of our freshmen last year. As you can see, like, Ariel and Brooke are our leading scorers this year. But they had to do that last year, too. But this year, our depth is what comes into play because the freshmen, them coming on is a bonus. But they don't have to worry about coming in and getting 20 or 10. You know, they can just kind of play their game. And if it ends up being that, that's great. But they don't have to worry about the pressure. They can just kind of fit in where they fit in.
Do you have any other questions for student athletes? Okay, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow. And we will have our final news conference of the day starting at 3:45 with UCLA.